to that shortly. But first of all, it gives me great pleasure to say we're talking to Maria Caulfield, the MP for Lewes. And hello, Marie, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, yes. Enjoying a Friday in the constituency, yeah. So having, hopefully, the weather stays as it is.
I bet you've had a busy, I bet you've been busy as always.
Yeah, it has been very busy, both in Parliament but also locally. We've got a number of hot topics, from planning to road building to, funding issues. So it's been a pretty busy time locally as well.
I mean, I was going to say about the building, there seems to be a lot of... I've noticed it, when I've been working and popping into the radio station, popping in and out, and, I can hear work's going on. Oh, there seems to be some workmen over there. Are they building houses, are they? And then I think, are they building houses there as well? And I guess residents are probably anxious, aren't they? Because they're thinking, are they going to tear the whole... Because Uckfield's a lovely place, you've got the built-up bit, but it's nice to have that green belt round it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know it's one of the bigger issues that I get in my post bag is lots of complaints from residents about green fields being developed. And no one, has an objection to new housing because we do need a degree of new housing. But it's got to a stage now where nearly every green field it has, developers circling. And our schools, our roads, our doctors are struggling to keep up with the amount of housing that's being built in the area. So I'm working with residents in a number of villages, say places like Newick and Chailey and Ringmer. I don't quite cover all of Uckfield, but I'm working with residents closely in terms of trying to prevent these developments from going ahead, because there's plenty of brownfield sites that can accommodate much of this housing. Once those fields are built on, they're gone forever. And so we've had some success. In the last couple of weeks, we've seen off 2 big developments in Newick, and I'm working with residents in Polegate and places like Wivelsfield to see off other ones. But definitely, developers are circling the area to build more housing.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. But, enough's enough, really. I mean, without sounding too negative, we don't want to tear things apart too much, do we? We don't want to ruin what we've got.
No, absolutely. And people, love the area. It's, one of the most beautiful parts of the country. We've got the South Downs National Park. We've got coastal stretches. Building on every green space, just takes people's quality of life away. The big development called Mornings Mill in Polegate, which we're fighting at the moment, will be the last green space between Polegate and Eastbourne. That's just unbelievable that could be the case. And the government, are going to be bringing in new laws later on this year to protect green spaces. So they're going to move to a brownfield first strategy, and also to take the heat out of the building market in the southeast, to try and encourage the housing that we need in other parts of the country, because that's been the problem. The housing in the southeast is expensive, and so developers make more money by building down here. But actually where the housing is needed is in other parts of the country. So the government really wants to take the heat of the southeast out of the housing market, and also protect our greenfield spaces, because it's about quality of life as much as anything else.
Absolutely. And the people that live down here and people that have moved down here, I've been down here for 20 years odd, so I guess that sort of makes me local-ish. But, I like it down here. If I wanted to live in a big city and a built-up area, I'd go back to a big city. But so I think, we don't want to tear down all the countryside. It's nice to have those, nice fields and that surrounding the place where we live, isn't it?
Absolutely. And during lockdown, we were obviously inundated with visitors from places like London who maybe for the first time, explored the countryside. And, they very much appreciated what we have. And, if we just concrete over, all our green spaces, then, we might as well be living in London. And that's certainly not what I want. And I know from residents, that's something they're really concerned about. So I'm optimistic we can see off a lot of this development. A lot has happened already, but both myself and other local MPs like Caroline Ansell in Eastbourne and the government are going to make some changes that will hopefully tilt the balance the other way.
Absolutely. I think it's the majority of people, from people I've spoke to, the majority of people don't want it. They don't want, all the fields being used up and just housing estates on there. That's the majority of people. I don't think I've spoke to anyone that's said they do want it.
Yeah, and people aren't being NIMBYs, so they're not against housing, but there are, spaces where housing would be more appropriate. So, near schools and GPs and access to good public transport. And the problem with some of the big developments, particularly around Uckfield that we've seen, is there aren't the services to support them. So, new residents then have to commute to school and to shops and services, which adds to our congestion locally. So, there's a huge reason why we need to address this issue in particular.
Well, hats off to you for making it one of your projects to get it sorted. Have you been busy doing other stuff? I thought I might as well, while I've got you on the air, I might as well ask you.
Yeah, so one of the projects that I'm working on at the moment is around the A27, and we all know that when the A27 either has an accident or is really congested, the traffic spills onto all the other roads around Uckfield and the local area. So we are working to see whether we can dual that A27 from Lewes to Polegate, and engineering studies are happening right now, and we should hear in the new year some potential options that we put to residents, so we can maybe have a plan going forward to try and improve the traffic flow across our part of Sussex, and making improvements to the A27 would go a long way to helping the whole area.
I think I agree with that, because once you get past Beddingham, it's down to normal flow. If we had that as a dual carriageway, that would really make a massive difference, I think. Massive difference.
Absolutely, and people, cut through villages to try and avoid the A27.
Yeah.
So and if it grinds to a halt, then the other roads all of a sudden also become very congested. So it has a huge knock-on effect, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to make improvements there, and we should know more in the new year.
Fingers crossed for that one, because I think that will help everyone, the commuters, and it'll help, like you say, everyone will be a winner with that, because all the little villages will have people trying to cut through, and the knock-on effect of some big accident that takes place on the A27. So fingers crossed for that one.
Yeah, so that's some of the work I've been doing, and also working with local GPs as well to try and help them deal with some of the backlogs that they've had with patients who haven't come forward during the pandemic for a whole host of reasons. I'm hoping to meet all my local GPs shortly to see if the measures we've put forward are actually making a difference. And I think it's starting to help. I'm getting less people contacting me about struggling to get through on the telephone.
Yeah, that was a big problem, wasn't it? I know I've experienced that myself, and you're phoning them and then it takes ages to get through, or sometimes you just don't get through. And I've even had it where I've been ringing a surgery. I've gone down to the surgery because I've been relatively close enough to make that journey across to the surgery, and I've walked in ringing them and I've said, I was ringing you, but I thought it'd be quicker to come in. And it's they have been genuinely been busy. It's not because they've ignored my call, but yeah, it's good that that's been sorted, because that has been a big problem, I guess, since COVID.
Yeah, certainly, there's it's a bit of a perfect storm. It's winter time, so people have naturally got more coughs and colds and illnesses to need to go and see their GP. There's been people who put off going to see their GP during lockdown, and then there's people who are waiting maybe for treatment in the hospital, haven't heard, and contact the GP to try and find out what's happening. So they're really inundated with requests. And so the government announced some support packages, some funding, but also some help with new telephony systems, also some support in terms of digital support to try and get better access to records so that they can find out information quicker from the hospitals, a whole range of things. And, I feel from my post bag that seems to be helping, because I'm getting less complaints from constituents. So it's really important, if constituents are still struggling to get through, let your MP know, because we can speak to the surgery and see what more help they need.
Well, big credit to you for putting the work in and getting that. You certainly have got your work cut out, haven't you?
Yeah, it's a busy few weeks, but hopefully that they all make a bit of a difference to people.
We appreciate your time. Is there anything else you want to add before we go into a song?
No, I think that's it. And I just hope everyone has a lovely weekend.
Thank you, and best wishes to you as well for a good weekend. And I'm sure we'll be speaking to you again soon, won't we? About a month's time or a few weeks?
I think so, yeah, just before Christmas, I think.
All right, I'll look forward to it. You take care, and I'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
Take care, bye.